A very good afternoon and welcome to Welisara as we look out over this picturesque ground here at the Navy headquarters as the home team hosts the CRNFC. Both teams riding high after wins in the first week of this Dialog Rugby League Championship, and you're watching it live and exclusive on ThePapare.com and of course on Dialog Now as well. It's a lovely afternoon for rugby. The sun is beating down here and the CRNFC team already out and warming up. Will be ready for kickoff in just about 15 minutes time, and you can see the team going through their paces. Lots has been happening off the field as well in regard to their training, because both teams would have realized that coming into this second week of rugby after a 1-point win over their opponents in the last week, Sabir, we had Navy winning by 1 point against Police, and we had CRNFC winning by 1 point against CH as well. So really close games. Navy versus CRNFC. It has been a really outstanding clash in the last maybe 3, 4 or 5 years. Joining me in the commentary box after quite a long break, with me at least, is Sabir Carter. Looking forward to this game, mate.
Absolutely, Shanak. A very good afternoon to all our viewers watching this live. And indeed, like you said, it's quite interesting, not only in the Sri Lankan contingent that the point is just one, Shanak. Should take at the recently concluded internationals, margin was so close. If you watch the England versus All Blacks, so as England versus South Africa. But here, talking about these off-field incidents, like you said, Shanaka, both teams will be looking few changes ahead of this start. You can see the Navy lineup as we go in a bit, few changes. So as Rahul, this was especially that second after spectacular performance in that Columbus 7 derby was outstanding for Coach Neil February's team. So probably he's going to start today's game for the Reds.
Well, I think the reason that Rahul came on when he did was because Kavinda De Costa did suffer an injury. He had a cut just above his eye, and he's had stitches for that, so he's not available to play yet. So whether it would have been a change that Coach Neil Abraham would have made anyway is something that we have to ask and see. Thunderstorms predicted for later in the day. Hopefully, of course, this will stay away. It's a nice, comfortable 27 degrees at the moment, and the temperature is expected to drop. With the wind fairly strong as well, but it's blowing across the ground. So as you watch your screen, it will be coming from the top right-hand corner of your screen towards the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. So whoever does win the toss, that will also be a factor, isn't it, Sabir? We'll find out who did win the toss when we come back after the break.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, TC treats, we want more.
Crescent Mini Keeves. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeves, only from Crescent. Crunchy Munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites, only from Crescent.
Breeder Fast, Pulsar NS160 with wider tyres and twin disc brakes from David Pierce Motor Company Private Limited.
Welcome back to exclusive live pictures as we look out over the warming up Navy team. They are hosting CRNFC at their home grounds in Welisara today. Live pictures for you from this Dialog Rugby League, coming to you on ThePapare.com and of course Dialog TV now. It's going to be a very, very close game. We've had so many close games, Sabir, already in these few games that we've had in the 2018-19 league tournament. We had 2 one-point games last week. Both these teams were involved in those one-point games, and we had a one-point game yesterday as well, with Havelocks coming back storming at the end to win last evening against Havelocks. Here's the highlights of last week's play. This is a game between Navy and the Police. Police scoring the first try there, and Navy through Buddhima Piyaratna managing to go in the corner. Buddhima, one of their most dangerous players, looked to him today to make an impact as well. And of course the deadly accurate boot of the top point scorer from last year, Tirina Veerasinghe, and you can see why they're jubilant, because it was 24-23. Havelocks came out under lights. New strip, new players, new sponsor. And Havelocks managed to get into half-time at 6-all, but then Dushmanta Priyadarshana barging over for a try that really broke the back of Army's resistance. And Riza Mubarak making sure that he was pretty steady despite missing a couple of kicks. He did keep Army on the scoreboard, Heavies on the scoreboard rather, 23 points to 12. This was the match that everyone was waiting for. Spicy contest, of course. And that was Samuel, the foreigner, scoring the first game, and a lovely angle from Joel Pereira, and a good timed pass as well, evading the cover tackle of Sudham Suryarachi, and Tharinder Athwata scoring one of the easier tries he scored in his life. But that was the kick that sealed the game from way out beyond 50 meters on his home ground with a nice tailwind. Tharinder Athwata knocking that over with ease, 24 points to 23. Air Force here, Surya Kishan with a lovely inside step and scoring first for Air Force. But Kandy, just too much firepower, Sabir, with the Dharmapala crossing, and after that it rained tries for them. It wasn't the kind of convincing victory that you'd expect from Kandy, but they don't travel well to Ratmalana, and they would have been wary of not losing to Air Force like they did last year.
Yes, indeed. This is the second half energy coming from Kandy Shanaka. It was 17, in fact 19 all for like almost 60 minutes than Kandy. When it comes to last week's results, here you go on your screens. 23-12 in favor of the men in pink, the very first game. And Police 23, Navy 24. That's a one-point game we were talking about. And same score in the CR versus CH game, 24-23, and then Air Force 19-28. But Air Force, considering the fact with their talent, Shanaka, that's still a pretty decent game.
A very decent game. In fact, they've got a foreign player as well, so look for him to make an impact. As they start to understand more about how the Sri Lankan game goes, I think the foreigners become more impactful for the bottom 4 teams later on in the season. So very interesting first week's results. It's going to be another very good second week's results, I'm sure, if yesterday's match was anything to go by. So Havelocks, by virtue of having played 2 games and have 2 wins, have moved to the top of the table, came back and won last gasp yesterday against the Heavies. And then we have Kandy, who are in second place. They should probably have 1 more point. I think they got a bonus for scoring the 4 points, so they should be on 6 points. Navy and CRNFC, the teams who are playing today. So 3 and 4 could shift up or down, depending on how this goes, and one of them could even move to the top position temporarily, at least, Sabir, the way things are going.
Yes, indeed, and still it's a long season, Shanak. We have the second leg coming, and also the top 4 at the end of the second leg will play the knockout stage, just like the Premiership rugby in the Northern Hemisphere. And here's the 2 captains here, NFC, Kavinda Pereira and Tilna Veerasinghe of last year's action.
This is Danushka Pereira, actually. This is last year's game at Longdon Place. And this is Musin Falil scoring the first try against his old team. Good basketball pass from Tiruna Veerasinghe puts him in there, and Falil would have enjoyed that against the red shirts. Here's a lovely break from Ratwatta, who was playing at number 13 in that year's game. Steps round Veerasinghe with ease and dots down for CR's first try as well. Here's Veerasinghe again, dumming on the inside. And a lovely burst, putting Navy in. Outstanding step from the winger there. Supun Piris. Here's another break from Gunaratna, who puts Supun Vannakula Surya over in the corner. And here's Ratwatta again, dumming, stepping back and going over for the try. Saw that he'd beaten the defender with the hip swerve. Came back and scored his second try of the game and also converted crucially. And CRNFC managing to win 38 points to 23. Ratwatta having a big game that evening as well. They'll expect another one from him.
Indeed, man of the match performance certainly, and that 55 plus meter kick was absolutely outstanding, Shanaka. We do have two kickers coming in this game as well, but this is the highlights of Tandra Ratwatta's last week games. He created and assisted and also scored tries, including those few points from his boots.
It's interesting to see with that Joel Pereira break, Sabir, he didn't go to sleep, he passed it and went in support. And that's what he does better than most players. He doesn't switch off after he's passed the ball. This was the kicking performance. I think he missed one kick, but apart from that, he was right on the money for CRNFC last week. And it was actually Ratwatta and Samuel Madhuvanta who kept their teams in a ding-dong scoreboard battle. And this was the game that, this was the kick that won the game from over 50 meters out. And good work from him.
You can see from the face of Kevin Dixon and the celebration from that kick. Such an important kick. Kick of course. And looking at the points tally, played 8 games in the recent past, and CRNFC only managed to win 2 games, Shanaka. Could this be the third today?
Well, it might be. I think they've got as good a chance as any of the recent years, but Navy has been a very strong team in the last few years. Sabir, they've won a league championship. They've finished second in the league championship. They've been in that top 3 for the last few years consistently. And CRNFC, on the other hand, have been in a bit of a downward spiral. This is one of the years where, looking on paper at their squad, you would expect them to go a little bit further up. They finished in a position unfamiliar to them in 5th place last year, and that's not something that they would have seen very much. But this Navy team will know that that the tally is in their favour, and they'll be looking to extend that. They are a very well coached team under Motilal Jatilak, and you know his teams do not take a backward step.
Absolutely, and especially when you play at Welisara, it's always going to be tough for the travelling or the visiting team here. And also there are so many unsung heroes, Shanaka, in this team. We spoke about their performance, especially Kasun Silva, the front row player. He was outstanding last year, so as Supun Silva. I think he's coming off the bench today. So many Navy grown-up players are in that rank, and also some youngsters in the likes of Adisha Veeratunga, who played for Sri Lanka, and also Tanuja Madhuranga, Science College player, who's playing at number 13.
Look for Kasun De Silva to make an impact in that front row against a lightweight CR front row. Mahesh Madhusanka and Charit Silva, big guys in that starting the top 3. Then Ravin De Silva and Gavin Patrick. Ravin De Silva has been a steadily improving player, and Adisha Veeratunga, with all that Sevens experience, will be a player that they look to in the line out and the loose. Gihan Pereira at number 7, and Radhisha Senivaratna backs down at number 8. Look for him over the ball. He's going to be a real menace at the breakdown. Richie Dharmapala and Absal Mohammed combine in the halves. Buddhima Piyaratna, he's dangerous with the ball in hand and also chasing kicks. Musin Falil and Tanuja Malimbada are a dangerous combination if they get things right. And if they can keep their discipline, this could really test the CRNFC midfield. And Dinusha Fernando, the experienced man on the wing, and the skipper Tiruna Veerasinghe, look for him with his boot. He knows his ground like the back of his hand. And on the bench, Vimukti Colombe Arachi, Pereira, Piris, Madhusanka, Chatura Seniratna, Dinesh Lakmal and Salia Hadapangoda. Plenty of experience coming off that bench as well, Sabir.
Yeah, Chatura Seniratna, of course, didn't have much of game time in the Candy jersey last season. A good move for him to get some game time, Shanaka.
This is your CRNFC lineup. Hafiz Noor will be starting in the front row. Played 80 minutes last week. Dulanjana Vijay Singh and Charana Chamikara moves from the second row to the front row. Mithila Pereira gets his starting spot alongside Shehan Dias to try and strengthen that line out. Joseph Fuimeano, who is the Samoan import for CRNFC, will need to have a better game than he did last week. Joel Pereira also will need to play well. He did so last week. Omalka Gunaratna with ball in hand as well. Rahul De Silva comes into the starting lineup and pairs off against Sarinder Ratwata. Let's see how those two together for 80 minutes will make a difference for Sia. Reza Rafaidin, Rehan Silva, Kavindu Pereira, Nalin Kumara and Kevin Dixon. So a couple of changes even in that back three. Nalin Kumara coming onto the wing for Sia. So a few changes for the red shirts. Sammada Peruma, Priyadarshana, Manamendra, Dilshan, Angammana, Harit Bandara, Chanaka Chandimala and Randita Varnapula make up the bench for the CRNFC team.
This match is brought to you by SAGT, proud sponsor of Sri Lanka Women's Rugby and CRNFC.
Happy to have SAGT on board with us as we look out over a sun-kissed Welisara Stadium here. We're in the heartland of Navy home territory, and this is a very difficult place for teams to come and play, Sabir. And that atmosphere will be something that will kick off as the game kicks off as well. It'll be a cauldron, and the CRNFC will find it very difficult with the crowd baying for their red shirts.
Absolutely, there's plenty of talents in the CRJC, but it'll come up to the last 20 minutes or last quarter. And I'm sure this game will go down to the wire. As we see the previous games by both the teams played that 1-point thriller. Navy, it's not easy, like we mentioned that especially playing at Welisara. But CRNFC is a loose forward also. There's some great mismatch considering the Reds and the Blue Stripes. You know that there's an X factor coming in the likes of the Samoan player. He was a bit sloppy in that first game, Shanaka, with a couple of knock-ons coming in and also scored that try with a 5-meter drive. But still there's lots of potential. So him combining with Joel Pereira and also Omalka Gunaratna, that's going to create some greater nuisance for Navy.
Well, they need to make that count, don't they, Sabir? They've got Joel Pereira, who's a good, hard-working player. They don't have an out-and-out open-side flanker, I think, and losing Shaukat Lahir to Havelocks was a big blow for them. But having Joel Pereira there, he does a job. And then you've got Joseph coming in there in the number 6 jersey, and he's got to be the real enforcer. If he's not doing the work at the breakdown time, then that's something that the administration needs to have a word with him. And I think after last week's game, you can perhaps excuse him because he's only been in the country for a couple of days. But if he doesn't really pull his socks up this week, then I think CRNFC will be rethinking their investment. And Omalka Gunaratne are looking for a big game from him. Hopefully he'll be able to bring other players into the game from a Sri Lankan point of view, because they really need Omalka to be that guy who draws in defense, is impactful, but also can put other players into space.
Absolutely. Talking about the opposite camp, Radhisha Seniratna has been outstanding, but before that, stat.thepapare.com, all you want to know is about the Dialog Rugby League stats, who scored the highest points and who made the conversion. Just log into stats.thepapare.com. Talking about that loose forward in the Navy camp, Shanaka. We know how well Radhisha Seniratna, especially with his lower center of gravity in terms of turning over the position, but he sometimes feel unlucky because after so many matches I have spoken to him that he has come and said that look, I didn't do anything, I did it completely legitimately, but it was referee's fault. So we might expect one or two decision going in favor of the referee or in favor of Radhisha.
Well, he's a double-edged sword to have in your team, isn't he, Sabir? Because it's a 50-50 call whether it's going to be a penalty or a turnover when Radhisha goes over that ball. And he's got, as you said, such a low center of gravity, such perfect technique when he goes over the ball. But sometimes I think he needs to realize, okay, the ball has been lost, I've got to let go of it now. So if he can keep his discipline, and with his quickness around the park, he might really test this CRNFC third row. So that's something that they will be keeping in mind. Because Radhisha has played with a couple of these boys as well at CRNFC, so they will know him well. and Adisha Veeratunga also is another guy. So that battle of the third rows is going to be really important. Our referee for today, the young Akil Jamaldeen, is flanked by the more experienced Dinka Piris, and of course Aruna Shanta will be the second assistant referee. And good to see Kada back in action as well. No, it's not actually. The team of officials, they'll be having a lot of work to do as we see the Navy team running out to the raucous cheers of their supporters here in Welisara. And we'll look forward on ThePapare.com and Dialog TV now for a really close game, just as close as the one that's happening in Pallekele. And this one is going to be a cracker. You're watching the Dialog Rugby League.
Absolutely. Navy will have their usual huddle. And talking about Akil Jamaldeen, one of the youngest referee, he had a stint in the UK last season and also in the Asian panel, assistant referee in the Singapore and in the recently concluded under 18 women's tournament in India.
Yes, he's getting a lot of exposure, and that's good from a Sri Lankan point of view to have a referee who will be able to command the respect of the players.
So as our very own Romario De Silva at the time spending some time in Durham with the Referee Society. Good job by Welisara.
Yes, good to see the youngsters getting some exposure. I think across the board in Sri Lanka, Sabir, the call is for youngsters to take over. And if Romario and Akil can be two of the leading referees in this country, then I think rugby will be in a good place. Given the way players and coaches have improved, I think the referees are incumbent to step up. So second week of action from this Dialog Rugby League. You're live on ThePapare.com. Thirina Veeratunga, the home team captain, kicks us off in this crucial encounter. Neither of the teams can afford to lose, and Dulandana Vijayasinghe bundles it up against his old team. Once again, straight over the ball is Adisha Veeratunga, and we spoke about this breakdown battle, and Dinusha Chaturanga insists that Richie Dharmapala give the ball over to Thirina Veeratunga for a 3-point shot.
Just some greetings. Welcome back to Welisara Dulanjana. Says Adisha Veeratunga. We know that they won't let your players easy to run, especially when you switch codes or when you switch clubs rather. Thirina Veeratunga, the man in form, top point scorer last season. Also made some good points with his boot last week.
Yes, he was crucial for that win against Police. And this should be bread and butter for him. You have Ravin De Silva wearing the number 7 shirt. And that might have been Gihan De Silva with the turnover. We'll tell you in a moment once we can identify the players out of the sun a little bit better. And as we say, it should be bread and butter. The pressure gets to Veeratunga and he hooks that one just a little wide.
Very unusual, uncharacteristic by Welisara. He would have done plenty of times during trainings each and every evening. But that's part and parcel, Shanaka. We'll see how much effect it's going to cost at the end of 80.
This is an important bit of play as well. Rehan De Silva catching that loose ball. Hafiz. Rahul De Silva finds a willing runner in Sharana Chamikara. Moved up to prop forward this time. Ratwat.
Release!
Sulanjana Vijayasinghe in the middle trying to make up for that early penalty. Ratwat still trying to burst through but leaves the ball behind. Navy got a crucial hand in there. And the referee Jamaldeen will blow them back for that knock on. Looked like Ratwat was trying to dance his way through the defense, but someone just got a crucial intervention.
There's so much numbers out wide, Shanaka, around 6 to 7, including the skipper. Should have given into left, but he was trying to snipe through like last week, which he did against CHNFC. But early on, looking for support, so much numbers onto his left, probably that's not the right decision in my point of view, but Navy will have the chance.
Good attacking platform for the Navy team and first scrum of the game as well. Watch for the man on this tight head side. Sharit De Silva. Watch for this Navy team to really put the screws on Sia in the scrums. Rehan Joseph that time completely missed the ball, and Dinusha Chaturanga is flying down the wing. Kevin Dixon makes a crucial intervention there. But Navy still having the ball. Wonderful run by Dinusha Chaturanga. Here he is again, gives the ball out. Quick ball available for Navy. Richie Dharmapala kicks it away. Probably something that he should not have done. He knew the penalty was there, but he should have had a go, perhaps.
Certainly he should have had a go, Shanaka, but what a lovely move from the own zone, Shanaka. No one was expecting. In fact, you saw one of the CR players just coming in, not looking at the ball, but straight away into the player. But that is some courageous decision making by Navy Sports Club from their own den.
Well, it showed a lack of awareness from Joseph Fuimeano, actually, there. He flew up, and he'd lined the man up, Sabir, but the ball wasn't going to that man. And as a result, it just happened to fly straight across the face of the defense and bounce kindly into the hands of Dinusha Chaturanga, who just flew down that left wing.
And how good is that tackle by Kevin Dixon? It's a complete mismatch between him and the experienced, the veteran Dinusha Chaturanga. I thought, for instance, he could have stepped it easily.
I did think so too. I thought it was gone for all money. But Dixon is a strong defender. And we've seen that in the sevens, and he would have known Dinusha Chaturanga well from the sevens training as well. So he'd known what he would have tried to do. And Dinusha is not someone who steps in a lot. He likes to finish on the outside. Thirana Veerasinghe looking to make amends for the kick that he missed just a few moments ago. So hush goes down over Welisara, and once again Veerasinghe has left his kicking boots at home, certainly not the ones that he wore last week.
So 6 points going begging under 6 minutes of play. Very unusual. And CRNFC have the opportunity to redeem themselves now.
Well, it's been all Navy so far in these first 5 minutes of the game. Ratwata thinks about going long or short and opts to go mid-range. Malimbada to Veerasinghe. Veerasinghe cutting through. Rahul De Silva with an important grab on the jersey. As Mohammad Absal. Here's Chaturanga again. This time bundled out. Into touch. Not a lot of room for Chaturanga to move with, so it's interesting to see what Nilfa Ibrahim will be telling his players. Are they telling him to give him the space on the outside and just drift across in cover, or do you want to get him early? So this is where CRNFC will have to regroup, but Navy has started strongly.
Indeed, Chanak. Every time they get the ball in hand, also the position, they create something. And they just get the overlap. You saw it's both of the occasion. It was Chaturanga. So defense on that far corner will be tested. Vijay Singh with the first throw in. This time a better line out comparing to his last game, which was not up to his standards.
Yes, the throwing was a bit dismal last week, but that time finding his jumper, Joel Pereira it was. And Ratpatha will look to clear, but... And try, says referee Jamaldeen. But Ratpatha says that he grounded it, and it'll be interesting to see that replay. And Radhisha Seneviratne will be smiling, he'll be beaming at how he managed to score that try. There's no question that Ratpatha did drop the ball. It was a knock-on, but did he ground it after that? That's what he's trying to tell the referee, but it doesn't matter because a try is scored.
Absolutely. Will be interesting to have a replay of that if possible. But what a lovely work by Radhisha Seneviratne. Just play for the whistle. Simple, basic stuff, Shanaka. That's what you have to do. Keep your eyes on the ball, and there you go. Getting 5 points. And that's a shocker from Ratwata.
Yes, it is. But the scavenging from Radhisha, we spoke about it before the game, how crucial he is to this Navy team. And this is what he does around the park, Sabir. He never gives up, chases down every ball. And this is why he's so important to the teams he plays for. Will it be third time lucky for Tiruna Weerasinghe? His third kick from the same side of the field in just the first 9 minutes of this game. And that's much better looking from Weerasinghe, and he adds the icing on Radhisha Seneviratna's kick, and it's 7 points to nil.
Third time lucky Tiruna Weerasinghe. If you just joined in, he's the highest point scorer in the concluded last year's Dialog Rugby League. Man from the hill capital. Unfortunately, we don't have luxury of giving you the replays.
Well, it really was an interesting one, and you can see they're still talking about it. Ratwata says, look, I dropped it and then touched it down. You can see he is not too happy about the decision. Seems like there's a player down in back play, so referee is going to just have a check on him. And Ratwata has lined up the kickoff, but the referee's gone away. So we'll have to wait till he comes back. So not sure if the referee needs to check on players who are out of the field of play. I think that's the medical staff's job. And that's why you've got the 5 officials, so we don't waste too much time on this kind of stuff. And Ratwata now will finally get this game back underway. Musin Falil takes the kickoff. Rehan Silva makes the first tackle. Absal, that's a good ball to Charit, but he drops it cold. It's a nice hard pass, and he needed to take that one. The big prop would probably have made a difference if he caught that ball at momentum.
Now CRNFC certainly has that territorial advantage, Chanaka. First time their backs will try out something. Rehan Silva right next to Tharindra Ratwata. Probably we can expect a decoy running.
They've got a good set of backs, don't they, Sabir, on paper? Did well last week as well.
So much national experience as well, Chanaka.
But Mushin Falid is a very good defender. And that's a lovely ball straight through to Kavindu. Throws a loose pass. And that was really, I thought that was poor from Kevin Dixon and Reza Rafaidin. They should really have been supporting on Kavindu Pereira's shoulder. You've got to understand where that break is going to happen. And it's not Kavindu Pereira's fault at all. He needed to have somebody running on his shoulder so that he can pop that pass to.
Great coordination between Kavindu and Tharindra Ratwata, Shanaka. The alignment Kavindu just changed in that final 2 seconds or so. Was able to take another 8 to 10 meters forward. This is what we were talking about, that exploit in their 3 quarters. Probably they could have come up with a 7-pointer. Just missed.
And I thought this was a little negative from Kavindu. It's early on in the game. Probably maybe should have gone to the corner. It's important that they do get the points. But maybe going for the corner at this point in the game. That's a good kick by Ratwata, so why not take the 3 points if it's available? That's the thinking, and you can't fault it. And Tharindra Ratwata gets his first points for the day. But he'll think he's still in deficit. They've conceded 7 from his mistake. It was a low ball, though. Not the best pass Rahul De Silva has ever made in his life.
I actually thought Rahul would have gone for a box kick, Shanaka. We saw plenty of time he was doing that in the warm-up session as well. He has that educated left boot, probably following.
And I think that's probably why he didn't take the kick, Sabir, because he is left-footed. And obviously, as you know, the scrum half does follow on the left-hand side. So he might have worried a little bit about the charge down. But if it was on the other side touchline, he probably would have taken it himself. Weerasinghe with a nice hanging restart. Adisha Veeratunga contesting that. Yes, in fact, it was Gihan Pereira who won the first turnover of the kickoff. And there you go with the box kick, as Sabir was just talking about. Dharmapala. Seniviratna. Good counter ruck by Sia, and Richie Dharmapala goes to the left, the short side. Navy keeping it close through Kasun De Silva, the big man, one of the homegrown Navy players, and he wins a penalty for his team. It was good work from the big prop. And these are two guys, these Navy prop forwards, that the Sri Lanka selectors should be looking at, Sabir, for the long term.
And also the CRNFC prop forward Shanaka, who came from Police, Uda Ragayan, one of the unsung heroes of Police last season as well. And again here the culprit was Sharna Chambika Shanaka, not releasing the player. And I thought Tilna had the distance to go that 50-meter mark. We have seen that.
But Navy will want to drive it home while they're in front. They're confident about their line out. I think Adisha Veeratunga, when you look at all the players that we have on the park, probably easily the best line out jumper here. So he'll be confident. It's a 5-man line out. Sensible from Navy. And they go to the back this time. It's very crooked though, unfortunately for them. It looks like it's Nirosh Pereira who's on. Looks like Ravin De Silva has gone off, Sabir. So Nirosh De Silva is on, which is why that line out suffered a little bit. Ravin De Silva, a much better line out jumper.
Nirosh, of course, former Science College player a couple of years ago. And it was his first throw, like you said, Shanaka. And he certainly had the confidence to go to the last man.
Watch for Omalka Gunaratne breaking away on the left-hand side here. Puts his head down. And again, another penalty given away by CRNFC players, just isolating themselves. And once again, it's Radhisha Seniviratne. Richie Dharmapala bends down, pats on the head of Omalka. In fact, it was Gihan Pereira winning his second penalty of the game.
How good is that, Shanaka? With an ample time, he managed to hold on with his using his center of gravity. And such a wonderful effect. You know, it's very hard to combat Omalka Gunaratne one-on-one, but this is what you expect from a flanker.
Absolutely. I made the tackle and was up on his feet in a flash. But I don't think that's entirely Omalka's fault, Sabir, because there's nobody cleaning out next to him. So they've got to have that communication. If he breaks, what does he do? And clearly that communication wasn't there. Stirana Veerasinghe looks to extend the Navy lead.
Mr. Couple with a similar angle, similar direction. Can he be third time lucky?
Probably his easiest kick of the day so far. And yes, this one is good. So it's 10 points to 3. Navy making all the running so far, and Sia just coughing the ball up in their own danger zone. Several penalties already given away within about 30 meters of the try line. And if you keep doing that, any team is going to punish you. Certainly this Navy team with their deadly accurate skipper.
13 points between two teams in this 16 minutes, and we'll see how the restart going to be. I'm sure Tarinda should fancy kicking into the 22 and put some pressure, get that territorial advantage, Shanaka, because you're not going to win the position.
And yes, that is a nice hanging kick. Richie Dharmapala finds a willing recipient in Kasun De Silva. Stirana Veerasinghe puts it high. Dulanjana Vijayasinghe deputizing in the number 8's position. Tarinder Ratwat manages to evade Dinusha Chaturanga. Here's a nice ball to Nalin Kumara. Steps inside and stays in the field of play nicely. De Silva to Charana. They do well to hang on to him. Here's Rahul De Silva with a little cross kick. Tarinder Ratwata looking for Joseph. Really good tackle on him by Mohammad Absul. Rahul. Here's Charana in the center once again, hitting it up, protecting the ball well. Rahul De Silva. Terrible pass. And Rehan De Silva knocks that ball forward by the looks of things, but no, referee says play on. And that is a knock-on.
Dear, oh dear, that's a good golden opportunity. Once again, Joseph Fumimona with his butterfingers coming into play. But this is the first real attacking opportunity that Sia played or displayed for the first 18 minutes, Shanaka, which was good to see. Rehan Silva early on had 2 numbers out to his left. Instead, he went to the contact, and Buddhima Piratna with a ripper. And Navy has the chance to come out of jail.
It was good from CRNFC, struck a few phases together, but uncharacteristically ordinary passing from Rahul De Silva. You don't expect that from him. So once they pass about 3 phases, CR seem to lose their structure a little bit.
Stay bound. Clear.
Tirida Veerasinghe under pressure from De Silva.
Backwards, play on.
And again, Riza Rafaidin plays that ball into the field of play, which is quite dangerous, really. Kasun De Silva, Amalka Gunaratne in the tackle with Dulanchana Vijayasinghe. Richie Dharmapala.
Okay, release. Play on.
He rolls out of that tackle. How he managed to escape that, I don't know.
Stay back, stay back, stay back.
But here he goes with the high box kick. Kevin Dixon screams for it now. Kavindu Pereira. Ball is behind Nalin Kumara, but Tarinder Ratwata now looking for the short ball to Joel Pereira. Again, a miscommunication between the CR attackers. They're using Pereira in those tram lines, but he needs to cut back in and ask for that scissor pass.
Absolutely miscommunication between Tarinder and the Wintricotta in that far corner. But so far, some good passage of play by the both sides. Still, now, of course, from that scrum, he didn't have the luxury to kick out on the full because the scrum was just outside the 22.
This is a big scrum for the CR team. Do they turn the screws here? They try and dent the confidence, because they've had the momentum so far and it's quarter of the game gone.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Good platform for Navy. Radhisha Sariratna goes off the back. Running onto that short pass beautifully was Musin Falil. And once again, not releasing, says referee Jamaldeen. And that's been several penalties so far for CRNFC. And there might be a card that we see. Fortunately, the referees are not mic'd for us. He's saying you've got to release the player, Sabir. And that's important. The tackler has to release.
With immediate effect, Shanaka, that's a warning. We can see a yellow card coming if that repeated by CRNFC. Thilna Veerasinghe, another good opportunity to thump this into CR half.
Navy has been excellent for this first quarter. It will be a test of their fitness and, of course, their bench strength. So they will really want to build up as significant a lead as they can before they go into half-time. The line out, the last one wasn't good, so they probably will go to Adisha Veeratunga this time. No receiver. The ball is tapped back to Dharmapala, and that's a good tackle by Omalka Gunaratne on Kasun De Silva.
Tackle release.
Hafiz Noor making a good tackle.
Backwards, play on.
Dharmapala. Here's the truck runners for Navy. Crossing the gain line.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Here they go again.
Tackle now.
That time
Complete.
tackled well behind the gain line. Dharmapala going
Sorry.
quite far back into the pocket. And it's not a great kick. It was Tanuja Malimbada, I believe.
Certainly not a great kick. It was Mushin Falil, in fact, Shanaka. But Navy just playing some compact rugby on that closure. Good defense by CRNFC, not panicking. Just up like a flash, take your man in front.
5.
And they were driven back almost 15 meters from where the ball was initially landed.
Yes, they're going back into the pocket and then they're using their big runners off that man. And if they're doing that, they need to go wide and they need to go shallow.
Leon.
And that's a beautiful steal from Veeratunga. Mahesh Madhushankar busting straight through Rahul De Silva. And again, holding on is the call. So referee Jamaldeen is going to be very strict at the breakdown by the looks of things.
Absolutely no mercy for the tacklers. And also talking about that hit, there's another tanker in the Sailors lineup. Unfortunately, he's not playing. Stefan Gregory, also former captain Roshan Ranasinghe. So much experience campaigner.
So a chance at 3 points for Ratpatha again. They'll keep chipping away at the lead, of course, but they'll need to get better with the ball in hand, Sabir. Straight through the middle for Ratpatha once again. So he's got 2 out of 2. And the lead is cut to 4 points, 10 points to 6. So CR staying within touching distance. But Navy is certainly looking the better team in the first 25 minutes of this game.
Yeah, it'll go until the 80 minutes, and after the 60 minutes or the third quarter, perhaps that'll where the winner and the loser will be tested. And here's the restart.
Bit of a lack of intensity from the two teams. Beautifully won there by Shehan Dias. His lifters did well too. De Silva. Ratpatha thumps this deep. Could have gone to touch but opted not to. Tiruna Veerasinghe will return the favour now.
Everybody.
And that's a beautiful kick. Right on the money. Shehan Dias was the man back. I don't know why he was back and not one of the wingers. But he allowed it to bounce into touch as it went over his shoulder. Beautiful kick from Tiruna Veerasinghe.
Beautiful kick and also good decision making, Shanaka. Since he got the ball, there's no CR defender in front of him, so he ran like 15 to 20 meters. That's how you have to get the territorial advantage, and with that up and under put some pressure, and luckily the ball bounced inside the play.
Vijay Singh with a crucial line out for CR now. And Joel Pereira wins it easily in front. They look to set up that trademark drive, but that's really well defended by Navy. Got their bodies into position quickly. Here's Charana Chamikara driving forward with the assistance of Rehan Silva, but Mushin Falil, how strong is he to hold up the big prop? Ratpatha again rakes this one straight into the hands of Veerasinghe. And here's Buddhima Piyaratna, the dangerous Buddhima Piyaratna. Well felled by Kavindu Pereira. But again, hands in front of the tackle area, so not supporting their weight.
Hands on the ground.
Technical call by referee Akil Jamaldeen, but if the arriving player doesn't support his weight and he uses his hands in that push-up position, then he's deemed as not supporting his weight. So a promising attack going a-begging for Sia. And Veerasinghe gets them deep into the 22.
A great opportunity, Shanaka. A great, we can see a driving wall coming. But first, they have to secure the line-out throw. We saw so far it's one went in favor of Sia. It was overthrown. Looks like it's going to be a short line-out.
Yes, it doesn't look like they're going in for the driving mobile. They could be, because they've got Radhisha Seniviratne at the receiver position. And he has played at scrum half before, started life off as a scrum half, Radhisha.
That's a
So
ball.
this is familiar for him.
Play on. Rip.
Omalka Gunaratne getting in there and making a mess of that. So that's good work from him to slow that ball down. And the arriving player, I think it was Gavin Patrick, who conceded that penalty by going off his feet.
Giving away a position much needed when the points on offer.
It's Gavin Sigerts, actually, former Wesley College player. He's plying his trade now at Navy, also was formerly at CRNFC.
So far in this game, Shanaka, we have seen so many calls from the referee, especially in that breakdown battle. I'm sure this will be one of the talking points on your breakdown segment.
Certainly going to be, because Akil Jamaldin is being very strict, and that's good to see. It opens the game up. I just hope that the other referees also will follow suit, because players like consistency from week to week, Sabir. Not just in the one game. Shehan Dias winning that well. Ratwata thumps this high and into the sun for Buddhima Piyaratna, who goes back and takes it beautifully. And
I think Buddhima got the ball outside the 22, then he went inside the 22, so he can't kick out on the full. There was not much of a pressure, but Riza Rafari in the man. For instance, I thought he would have stepped like he used to do plenty of times. So, a gifted opportunity for CRNFC.
One center mark here.
yes, I don't remember exactly where Piyaratna caught the ball. May have been just outside the 22. So, that line out arguably should be inside. Rahul De Silva to Rehan Silva. Coming through on the angle was Omalka Gunaratne. Nice inside ball, dummy, but good defense that time from Navy. And again, penalty at the breakdown. The referee consistently giving that one again. So referee Jamaldin being very proper in those breakdowns and making sure that he pings everyone for the first offense, Akil Sabir, which is good to see. But again, we're going to see a lot of penalties at the breakdown if that's the way he's going to blow it.
Clearly told the captains few of the occasions. And also, I'm sure this has been discussed just before the toss or during the toss, Shanaka, because these are the real issue in the modern world of rugby, especially those breakdown calls.
Well, it's one thing to discuss them before the toss, Sabir, but when you've got bad habits that have been building up from the time you were under 12, then that's not just going to go away. At the stage of before the kickoff, the players are not good enough to adapt like international teams are.
Spot on, Shanaka.
And again, Ratwata bisects the gap between the posts, and it's 9 points to 10. Ratwata keeping CRNFC within touching distance, although Navy have been making most of the dangerous plays. CR yet to find that finish. They've looked good for 3 phases and then gone back to the drawing board.
Yeah, Navy certainly had the position, probably 60-40.
Lovely hanging kick once again. Joel Pereira takes that well and goes off on a run. Such a good workhorse, this lad. Has impressed the national selectors as well. And Ratwata this time puts it deep and over the head of Radhisha Seniviratne. Veerasinghe will look to clear. And the ball coming down into the hands of Dulanjana Vijayasinghe, who takes off.
Stay there, stay there.
Rahul De Silva, flat ball to Joel Pereira. He's met by his former teammate Gavin Sigurds. Yes, Ratwata, he's really swarming in on him, Mohamed Absal.
No.
Good work by Absal there to try and slow the ball down, and Kavindu Pereira getting involved. Good to see the winger coming in off his wing and getting involved in the breakdown, but good strong pattern of defense. Their structure is good, Sabir. They just need to execute a little better from Navy.
Yeah, conceding that penalty by Mohamed Absal,
Previous locations.
I think this is going to be the final warning, but I thought, for instance, Shanagar, a little bit of naivety by Mohamed Absal. He knew that he can't fall off.
I might consider that. Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
he
you.
went in for the turnover. Should probably have realized that that ball was lost. So both captains getting a talking to that time, and I think the referee is saying, look, guys, there is too many penalties at the breakdown, and he's absolutely right to say so, because we may have seen about 10 penalties already in this first half an hour of the game. And Ratwata now will look to lead the game if this kick goes over. First kick from the left-hand side of the field. Not much of a breeze to contend with at this present moment. Still blowing diagonally across your screens from top right to bottom left. This for the lead. And Ratwata again 4 from 4. Flawless kicking performance so far. And 12 points to 10 at the moment. CRNFC have kept chipping away at that early Navy lead, but they'll be conscious that they haven't scored a try yet.
I like the fact how much maturity shown by Tarinder Ratwata, the man on your screen, Shanak, especially after giving 7 points inside that try line. And he just made a silly knock-on, and he stood up for all the 12 points.
Well, he's bounced back well, didn't he, from that early miss. And especially as your fly half, that can affect you for the rest of the game, especially given how early in the match it happened. But he's put that behind him, and he's now 5 points to the good. Conceded 7 perhaps, but he scored 12. So he's up on the deal in the balance sheet.
And also not forgetting Tilnaveeru Singham missing 2 penalties, almost 30-meter mark.
2 very kickable penalties for him. Sabir, you'll expect him to knock those over. Adesha Veeratunga. And again, that's a little bit of a harsh call, though, I thought. Adesha took it right above his head. Maybe just slightly on the outside shoulder, but perhaps it could have been let go a little.
Well, set play is always crucial, isn't it, Shanaka? We saw that not the first time in this game. The starting hooker is out, perhaps due to an injury. This is where Dulanjana Vijay Singh was instrumental last year in the Sailors' colours.
Yes, and he's done better this time in the opposite colours as well. Last week's throwing was not something he would have wanted to look at the replay of. Rehan De Silva with the long ball out to Kevin Dixon. Reza Rafaidi. Good tackle on him by Pieratna, his 7th teammate. Rahul De Silva a bit slow to that breakdown. Omaka Gunaratna barges straight into Radhisha Seniviratna, his opposite number. Not a great pass to Charana Chamikara, and here's Navy trying to come away with beautiful pass. Outstanding work, and here's a try coming for Navy. This is going to go all the way. Yes, they are. What an outstanding score that time by the man who's just come onto the field, Nirosh Pereira. Number 27, what a good pair of hands from Navy. And that's the try that may take them into the half-time with a lead.
That is sensational stuff, Shanaka. Early on, referee Jamali letting the play off. For instance, it was like a knock-on, but he said it came off the body. And a lovely hands from Navy forward, silky offload, and a no-look pass on that final pass, in fact.
Yes, fantastic hands, completely created the try. And not only the hands, Sabir, the willingness to run those support lines and run them hard. I think that's where Navy have really outshone Sia in this first half, and they'll take a deserved lead into half-time, barring a good comeback from Sia. So just as CRNFC went into the lead, showing their vulnerability, just going to sleep a little bit, thinking, okay, now we've got the lead, and just allowing Navy back into the game. That ruthlessness, that professionalism to kill off a game, not available from either side. So the conversion just wide, so just 3 points in it at half-time, or close to half-time.
3 minutes.
3 minutes and 5 seconds left now on the clock. Certainly going to be a interesting second 40 minutes because the coaches will have plenty to say for both teams. I think in terms of execution, Navy have been far better today. The defense has been sound. They haven't allowed CRNFC in for a try, and Sia have already conceded 2 tries.
Yeah, that would be a spoken point during the halftime from both the coaches. Without a doubt, we didn't see much of attack from Riza Rafaidin or from Rehan Silva as yet.
Richie Dharmapala brought down by Rafaidin. The ruck is outside the 22-meter line. Veerasinghe smacks it.
Number 8,
And it's way back to Dulanjana Vijayasinghe again. It's a loopy pass to Ratwatta, who again strafes that one down the field. The Navy defenders will be hoping that this one rolls over, but there's not enough roll on the ball, so they will do the sensible thing and kick it back. Good chase by Nalin Kumara that time.
Yeah, Tari was looking to put that kick into the 22. Unfortunately, his alignment was not accurate. Good that it didn't go into the deadline area, Shanaka. Otherwise, it would have ended up in a 50-meter scrum in favor of Navy.
Yes, certainly. Would have been a concession of territory. That's a charge down by Rehan Silva, and here's them coming through. And that's the try for Mithila Pereira.
You betcha, says Rehan Silva. What a work by the big man.
Well, I was wondering a little bit about how far forward Tirina Veerasinghe came to take that kick, Sabir, and CRNFC have strategically used one of their taller players to mark the kicker, and that paid dividends that time. And Mithila Pereira, the ball bouncing kindly for him, and on his first start, on his return to club rugby after a couple of seasons away due to a really horrific knee injury, Mithila Pereira has reaped his just rewards.
Navy skipper, what he should have done is take a bit more time, go at least another 2 or 3 steps backwards, or even 5 meters backwards. But the kick also was pretty flat.
I think he was going for distance that time. He really wanted to get into the opposition territory with just a few minutes left before the half. So it was going to be a long, flat kick, but that played right into the hands, literally, of Rehan Silva. So it's been 2 mistakes that have led to tries in the last few minutes. Defensive error and handling error from CRNFC, conceding that try to Nirosh Pereira, and another error off the kickoff, which means that Tarinder Ratwatta will knock his team into the lead just before the halftime break. And just a couple of points in it, but what a game it's turning out to be once again, Sabir. This Dialog Rugby League full of surprises. Sri Lanka Rugby have chosen to bring in that foreign player just to increase the competitiveness of the season so far. And judging by this game, 15 points to 19, there's a lot to be expected.
Absolutely, there's a lot to be expected. So many mistakes by the foreign player as well. And talking about that first quarter performance where Navy had most of the position and territorial advantage, also missing 2 good penalties by the skipper Tirina Veerasinghe himself, and also 1 foul conversion. But CRNFC well calm and composed, keeping their decision making right after that blunder by Tarinder Ratwatta in their own half. Let's have a look at a few highlights, but 15 points to 9. CRNFC leading by 4 points as they go into the half time. As the Navy band entertain the spectators. We see this in every venue, especially in the police park, an army playing or... So we'll go for a quick commercial break and we'll be back with the second half action.
Crescent Mini Keeps. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeps only from Crescent. Crunchy Munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites only from Crescent.
අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදී කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey Barry, මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi Plus පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙති ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi Plus විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමෙයි. එක බිලයි, කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.
Fast Pulsar NS160 with wider tyres and twin disc brakes from DavidPere's Motor Company Private Limited.
අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදී කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey Barry, මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi Plus පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙති ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi Plus විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමෙයි. එක බිලයි, කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි. අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදි කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? ඇයි බැරි? මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙති ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ. එක බිලයි කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.
நேரடி ஒளிபரப்பு யாழ்ப்பாணத்தில்
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. සිරිතදාස
ඇඩ්මොරටුව
පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය.
கிழக்கு மாகாணம் சுகததாஸ் இண்டோர் ஸ்டேடியம்
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
රුණෑගල සිරි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නෝරෙලිය ප්‍රදේශයේ.
Final showdown, Candy Sports Club.
පොළොන්නරුව ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට நேரடி ஒளிபரப்பு யாழ்ப்பாணத்தில்
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
සිරිතදාස
ඇඩ්මොරටුව
පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය.
கிழக்கு மாகாணம் சுகததாஸ் இண்டோர் ஸ்டேடியம்
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
රුණෑගල සිරි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නෝරෙලිය ප්‍රදේශයේ.
Final showdown, Candy Sports Club.
පොළොන්නරුව ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට
ක්‍රීඩා පුවත් සිංහලෙන් www.thepapare.com වෙබ් අඩවියට පිවිසලා සිංහල භාෂාව තෝරාගන්න. ක්‍රිකට්, රග්බි, පාපන්දු, වොලිබෝල්, මලල ක්‍රීඩා, පැසිපන්දු විතරක් නෙමෙයි වෙනත් ක්‍රීඩා සහ විශේෂාංග ලිපි උනත් The Papare සිංහල තුලින්. ඇයි අපේ වීඩියෝ පිටුව ක්‍රීඩාව හා සම්බන්ධ දහසකුත් එකක් වීඩියෝ, සම්මුඛ සාකච්ඡා. ඒ වගේම ඇසිදිසි, රග්බි පිටිය, පිටියේ කතා, ස්පෝර්ට්ස් මසාලා වගේ සතිපතා ජනප්‍රිය විශේෂාංග නරඹන්න.
Welcome back to live pictures on ThePapare.com and Dialog TV now of this Dialog Rugby League game between CRNFC and the home team Navy. The Navy band entertaining us with some outstanding work at half-time, and the Navy team has entertained us in the first 40 minutes. Although they conceded the lead just a few minutes before half-time, they will be wanting to storm right back where they finished that first quarter.
Advantage over. Second
Looks
release.
like they've got a new lease of life after that half-time break. And Omarka Gunaratne gets the first action of the second half as he goes to the bench. The second time CRNFC have suffered a yellow card in as many games this season, and not releasing the player is the call from referee Jamaldeen, who was very strict on that on both teams in the first half, Sabir.
And also, I like the fact how Coach Motilal Jayadila came off from his seat and just screaming on one of his players. Not sure who is that, but they got certainly the territorial advantage is with them. But it's going to be a big blow for the next 10 minutes, especially this numerical advantage coming on. You can see Umalka still shaking his head. Clearly, the referee have given the warning in the first half, Shanaka. We saw that many a times.
But it doesn't matter what you think as a player, isn't it? Only thing that matters is what the referee thinks. Richie Dhamapala dummying, going straight through. Dulanjana Vijay Singh desperately grabs onto him. And here's the one-out stuff from Navy. Absal, Musin to Malimbada, dragged down by Rehan Silva. And Rahul De Silva comes straight through, points at the ball, but that ball is sacred if it's at the back. Joel Pereira making a tackle, but not 10 meters back. So the game really going up in intensity in the first few minutes.
That call is certainly a debatable one, Rahul De Silva. Maybe debatable as Courtney Law's incident, but sadly we don't have the luxury of bringing you the replays.
Mark here, 10 minutes here.
And see, clearly not 10 meters, playing Mohammad Afzal.
But I think the practice now has become, Sabir, as long as the scrum half has lifted the ball, then it's in play and you can come around. But if it's at the bottom, if it's at the back of the ruck, and it's even if it's been won, and if it's kind of out of the ruck, I think referees give the preference to the attacking side. So Rahul didn't really need to do that at that point. Should probably have just allowed play to go. It was a very risky move, and perhaps should have waited till later in the game if he was desperate for points to do that. So let's see what Thiruna Veerasinghe can do from this side of the field. Missed a couple of kicks early on. Heavily taped up hamstrings. And again, 3 kicks missed for Veerasinghe. Very gettable ones as well. So not his day today with the boot. 9 points he's left on the park.
That's right, 9
fact,
easy
11
points and 2 points from the conversion. That's far corner, let's say. But yeah, talking about that incident, Shanaka, so you're saying that Sam Underhill's tries should be awarded?
Well, I've always said it should have been awarded, Sabir.
Here, I think Shanaka Navy has to consider on their kicker. There are some options.
That's a ball. Play on.
Ball wrestled away. And that's good work from CRNFC. Hafiz trundling forward from a standing start though. Here's Charana Chamikara. Hasn't really shown what he could do as much as he did last week. Kevin Dixon from a standing start again. Shallow defense and no room to move in. Flying up in defense was Radhisha Senivaratna. Read that move well. And again, really good work.
Too late.
Radhisha looked like he was off his feet though.
Supporting player, a bit late.
So he was lucky to get that penalty. And referee Jamaldeen blowing it up very quickly. And that's why these forwards are shaking their heads, because they're thinking that they have a little bit of time.
But this is what he's a value-added factor, isn't it, Shanaka? Radhisha Senivaratna. We just spoke about him just before this game. How crucial his breakdown tactics and turnovers. And Navy captain Thiruna Veerasinghe
Gets you just 5 meters short of the 22-meter line. And this is a very important line out for Navy. They know they conceded the lead just before the half. So they'll want to hit back quickly. Adisha Veeratunga with a beautiful ball at the top of the line out. Absal gives it to Charit De Silva, who storms his way past the gain line. Here's Madhusankar, lovely ball. And unfortunately left behind by the Navy support players.
That Madhusankar's pass came just forward. Referee Jamaldeen just having that information from his assistant Dinka Piris. Certainly had the momentum. Also another interception opportunity for Dulanjana Vijay Singh. Timely delayed pass on that occasion by Navy.
There's not a lot of room this time.
3, 2, 1.
And Amarka Gunaratne is off as well.
Crouch. Boy. Sit. Steady. Steady.
Joel Pereira at the back of the scrum. Runs
Tackle.
straight into Richie Dharmapala. And that time,
Hold it.
players leaving their feet, says the referee. And Rajesh Seniratna, after doing such sterling work, will join his opposite number in the sin bin. And you can imagine that they'll both be sitting there exchanging stories and shaking their heads. But Ratwata, as a result of that, will try to put his team into the opposition half for the first time in this 40 minutes. And Dinusha Chaturanga gets an opportunity. Cut down by Kavindu Pereira's outstanding tackle technique. Hafiz
Tackle. Release.
does well to hang on to that ball. Smashing through is
Tackle!
Joel Pereira. Good defense once again. This is really strong defense from Navy. Rehan cutting back into the field of play. Here's some overlap now for Kavindu Pereira. Chooses to go inside, smashes into Richie Dharmapala, and here's some space now for Joseph.
Tackle. Roll away.
First time we've seen him with the ball in hand, the CR foreign player, so it's been a non-entity. Tarinder Ratwata looks for a support runner. Dragged down was Rahul De Silva. Try-saving tackle, that one by
Leon. Get back. Get back. Get back. Playing advantage.
Adisha Veeratunga, and here's Buddhima Piyaratna. Bursting through. Piyaratna is going to go all the way. Is he? No, he's not, but Dinusha Chaturanga knocks that ball on, and here's it is for now Kavindu Pereira. The game has really opened up now. Charit De Silva latches on to the fastest man on the field.
Well, that is some end-to-end stuff, Shanaka. Good to see both the teams starting to run now. But early on, I think Dinusha Chaturanga, it was a wrong decision taking Kavindu Pereira on that far corner. Kavindu Pereira has a textbook tackle in the Sri Lankan setup. And he had the numbers out wide. Also a kicker next to him, his captain.
Yes, Chaturanga hasn't had too many opportunities since the first couple of minutes to run with the ball, so probably thought he'll take his chance. But Kavindu Pereira did some good work to get across as well.
And this Buddhima
Sorry, that was
break.
Nalin Kumara with the tackle actually, Sabir. So both packs reduced to 7. The time is off, and it looks like Thiluna Veerasinghe may be going off the field. In back play, yes, he has gone off, so it hasn't been the captain's day. We'll tell you who replaces him in just a moment, but both packs still scrumming down with 7 players. Nice draw and pass from Joel Pereira. Rahul opts for the dummy. Dias to Mithila, the try scorer. Ratwata deep in the pocket and looks for Buddhima Piyaratna now. Piyaratna tries to take his opposite number on. And the penalty is coming for Charana Chamikara, and he'll see yellow as well. Don't think there can be any complaints about that. He went in very high for that tackle. And CR now with 13 players on the park. Still one man less than Navy's 14. And hoping desperately that Amarka Gunaratne will come back quickly.
That's a bad blow by Chamikara. Knowing that high tackle, you have no mercy on that. But it's an interesting call, isn't it? Interesting change, taking the skipper off and giving a youngster, Chatura Seniratna, a chance. So you have 30 minutes, more than 30 minutes remaining, and this time again, not a good throw by Navy.
Yes, that's a very interesting move, a strategic substitution. Rahul De Silva threading this one down the touchline, and that's a good kick from the scrum half.
Probably those 11 points missed by the skipper would be running through Coach Motilal Jayatilaka's mind, because kicking wins you games, very crucial. If you see Reza Mubarak's yesterday's conversion, Havelocks against CHNFC.
And also the way this game is going, Motilal Jayatilaka has made that call because both teams are conceding penalties. Because the referee is happy to give those penalties as well. It's important that you have a player on the park who can take them, Sabir. So he's made that call early and he's given half an hour to Chatura Saniviratna. Let's see whether he can repay his coach's confidence.
Absolutely, indeed. But Madhusanka, Navy number 2, is not having his day. So far, I think he had only made one throw accurately.
Madhusanka with a crucial line out here again for Navy. They desperately need some slow ball to just grind these CR forwards down a little bit while they've got Radhisha Saniviratna off.
Here we go, a testing time. This time it was taken neatly.
Nirosh Pereira off the top of that line out. And they've been doing this to good effect with big Charit Silva. Charit Silva rather.
Play on.
Using his bulk in off the fly half. Reza Rafaide punches this back into the 22. And Buddhima Piyaratna calls the mark. Waits patiently for his entire team to get behind him. He doesn't have to do that, but opts to make sure he takes the kick. And it's not a good kick from Piyaratna.
That's a terrible kick, Shanaka. That's just outside the 22. He called mark, but we have seen Buddhima Piyaratna has been used for long-range penalty kicks last season. He thumped those 60 to 50 to 60 meters. But this time, maybe overconfidence. Maybe he's not lining his kick.
It's a thing that just sliced off the side of his boot. So we haven't seen that rolling maul work to good effect today by either team. Navy have defended it very well when CR have tried it. And Mithila Pereira winning that one. And again, real clumsy stuff from CRNFC. Gayan Jayamana has come on in the number 19 jersey. So CR have gone to their bench. They'll need to make a replacement for the front row as well now because Charna Chamikara is off.
Maybe just trying to do too much in that line out, Shanaka. Just get the ball and make position. Try a simple driving maul. They're trying to hit that 5-meter short aside.
And that's a better ball from Navy.
You can't hold it there. You can't hold it.
But that time again holding the player up. I think they held the player up for just a little bit too long. You've got to bring him down because otherwise you prevent the other team from coming up. Tried to win themselves a penalty, but instead conceded a free kick. So referee Jamaldeen has been very technical today. And the teams will do well to keep up with him, Sabir. There's a couple of aspects to this. One aspect is that maybe he's being a little too technical. The other aspect is, are the teams not skillful enough to keep up with this kind of technical refereeing? So those are two issues to talk about as we have a replacement at hooker. Charana Chamikara has gone off. In fact, we have one at prop. Mithila Pereira has gone off to accommodate Marco.
Crouch! Bye! Sit!
With Charana Chamikara already in the sin bin and he's a front row forward. So here's Omalka Gunaratne running sideways. Drags the defense along with him. Gayan Jayamana waits. Thumps it forward.
Stay blue.
Joel Pereira gets thumped back in defense. Excellent tackle that time. Jayamana goes again. CRNFC have changed their plans a little bit, using their big forwards, especially now that they're a man short. Joel Pereira gets smashed back in defense. That's an outstanding tackle. It was little Mohammed Absal.
Tackle release.
Jayamana. Here's Dulanjana Vijay Singh, goes straight to ground though, Vijay Singh. And does well to win the penalty there. So there should be no trouble about putting this one over. So you can see what Sierra are trying to do. They're trying to milk the penalty. But again, Sabir, even if they go on to win this game, they'll have to bear in mind that with all the riches in 3 quarters that they haven't been able to string together, try to construct a try.
That is absolutely true, Shanaka. But as we saw in the last few passages, Sia forwards play after forwards play, and trying to suck many as a Navy defense into that defensive work or to increase the defensive work rate. As a result, they won a penalty. But if not, maybe after 9 to 10 faces, probably they could have gone wide, like you were saying, because there's so many numbers waiting outside in the likes of Kevin Dixon and Reza Rafaidin.
Easy kick that time, a flawless performance so far from Tarinder Ratwata. All but 5 of the CRNFC points have come from his boot. Scored 17 points last week.
Blue number 6.
So an invaluable part of that red shirted team. Thirina Veerasinghe, although much was expected from him, similar stuff was expected from him. And unfortunately for the Navy team, he hasn't been able to perform to that level.
Tari has certainly improved, Shanaka, after his a month stint at New Zealand training.
Chatura Seneviratne now to kick off. Nicely taken by Shehan Dias that time. He's done the tight stuff well.
Okay, good.
Lovely kick by Rahul De Silva. Radhisha Seneviratne waits. Nalin Kumara with a good tackle on him. That's good technique. But again, Radhisha Seneviratne, you can see he never gives up. Let the ball go. And Nalin Kumara seems like he's down with cramp. Dulanjana Vijay Singh screams mark.
You're good, you're good.
And now he takes it quickly, gives it to Kevin Dixon. Dixon with a little bit of a step. Dixon now gets a chance to spread his hamstrings. Good run by Dixon. Creates an opportunity for CR to get back into the opposition territory. Let's see whether Buddhima Piyaratne can do the same. It's a great tackle on him by Gayan Jayamana, and now the ball is loose. Rahul De Silva should probably have picked it up, but tries to kick it through, and you can see he's propped forward, giving him an earful for that. Pick it up, he says.
But that's a clear miss from the assistant referee, Shanaka. When Tarinder put that up and under, all the CF players are offside, including that Kavinda Pereira's chase on Mohammed Abzal.
Another player down for the Navy. And looks like they're suffering from cramp, Sabir. It's just a hydration issue. Nalin Kumar also on the far side of your screens is suffering from cramp. So players not really looking after themselves properly.
We are heading into the business end, Shanaka. This is the time where we are going to see who has done their pre-season work rate.
CR. Time is not off.
I think no water is the call from referee.
Okay, scrum. Mark here. Okay.
A very solid platform for CRNFC to attack just outside the 22. We can expect another Omalka Gunaratne's break, Shanaka. Now the numbers are even.
Well, I'd love to see Omaka Gunaratna with ball in hand, Sabir, but from the back of the scrum, he's got to straighten out. He's got to run in that U kind of shape. Instead, he runs straight into the midfield and drags the defense across. It's very easy to stop him then, and very easy for the defense to set up as well. So he's got to go laterally for the first few steps and then really straighten out. So if he beats the flanker, he can run straight on the inside shoulder of the fly half, but he doesn't seem to be making that adjustment. He runs straight, waiting for the contact, and tries to win that collision, but he's really got to open things up for his talented outside backs. And this time he passes to his former teammate Rehan Silva, together in the green, now together in the red as well. Referee's playing advantage for a high tackle, and no advantage coming, so we'll come back to the penalty. And this one again, you can bet your bottom dollar that Ratpat is going to take it.
Points keep coming in favor of CRNFC, and this man has made the most. 17 points in the first game against CHNFC, and today controlling things very nicely. After the first real miss was a gifted try for Radisha Seneviratna. Since then, Tari came back strongly. And this kick is for a 10-point lead.
Yes, a really strong comeback from him. And it's important also to note, Sabir, there was a lot of furor before the season kicked off to the fact that maybe it's not fair to give only 4 teams a chance of bringing a foreign player in. But judging by the way the teams have played, even in this game, we haven't seen Joseph making a massive impact on this game. He hasn't turned the ball over. He's not made big meters with the ball in hand. So either CR and FC have got to rethink their option of what kind of foreign player to bring down, or they've got to think about, or SLR have actually done the right thing, because the teams are able, the top 4 teams are able to compete.
That's right, Chana, giving the opportunity for the lower team. And Dulanjana with the catch.
With the catch and showing off his footballing skills as well. Dulanjana, an all-round sportsman.
He's of course a cricketer for Wesley College.
Got a substitution for Navy as well. Udesh Madhusankar has come onto the park in number 2 in that line out for Navy. And Ramdita Vannapura has replaced Nalin Kumara on the right wing for Sia.
Play on.
Shehan Dias as well. Rahul De Silva's passing has not been deadly accurate this evening. And Charana Chamikara, after that little stint in the sin bin, trundles forward. Hafiz.
Second release. Release blue.
And that ball went forward, says referee Jamaldeen. He was on the spot. You can see the team manager, MJ Mushtaq, on the top of your screen, just gesturing for the team to get down onto the other side of the field. And that's pretty good advice from the experienced Mushtaq at this point in the game.
Both Mushtaq and Luke will be heading with the Sri Lanka 19 team, Shanaka, in the Asian Division 1 Under-19, back in Chinese Taipei. That'll be next month. And like you said, Shanaka, yes, Rahul De Silva, not the game that he had in that late comeback against CHNFC. Today he had some communication error as well with his outside half.
Sit.
He's good coming on, Rahul.
Stay there. Okay, play on.
Really knows how to read a game and finish it off, as he did last week against CH. And again, the penalty at the breakdown. Really important to be an important stat, and you can see this on stats.thepapare.com, that how many penalties have been conceded in this game, Sabir. It'll be really interesting to analyze that in the breakdown. You can see how happy the CRNFC players were there. Gayan Jayamana, who's come on, has made an impact early on. Trying to show his coach that maybe he deserves to start.
Captain.
I'm sure now Coach Motilal Jayadilaka will need to bring his bench. Can see so many players. Not still really comfortable after playing this 60 minutes. Also, we didn't see much of spark coming through Mohammad Afzal in that Navy Cam Shanaka last year. We saw a few breaks that he made, especially the break against Kandy back in Nitavela. And also, he didn't do much of a running today.
He hasn't had a lot of the ball, Sabir, to be fair to him. And the few little ball that he has had, he's passed or kicked. But he's defended well. Defended those fringes well and put some hits in on some bigger men. Joel Pereira wins this. Just wondering whether Sia are guilty of a little bit too much movement in their line out. Sometimes you just need to go up at number 2 and win the ball. Here's Hafiz.
Release now. Use it.
Charana thinks about going left but goes right instead. Good defense on him. These two props from Navy have done yeoman work today. Here's Omar Gunaratne. No arms in that tackle, surely. Nirosh De Silva gets away with it though. And the ball spills forward as well. So Radhisha Seniviratne trying to pick a fight with a much bigger man, but that's Radhisha Seniviratne for you. He'll tell you it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
That's simply the scoreboard pressure, Shanaka. Just could not hold on. Could not give away the position. Radhisha with already a yellow card. Back-to-back yellow card, I would say, in the first game as well. So another yellow card means
Second knock on. Scrum.
he would out for 2 or 3 games.
Yes, he's got to be a little careful. He's a very important member of his team, so he's got to be responsible here and not react to unnecessary things like that, because it wasn't going to make an impact on the game. And if you show the opposition that you're someone who can get riled up easily, Sabir, they're going to keep needling you, trying to get under your skin and get penalties away. So Radhish is far too experienced for that.
Bind. Sit.
Watch for him off the base of this scrum though. Here's Musin Falil running off at first receiver. And that's a bad mistake from Richie Dharmapala. Doesn't make those errors often.
Yes, Shana, terrible error. Maybe he was in two mind whether to go for the box or to send it to his right. Just took the eyes off the ball, and there you go. Sia getting that advantage now.
Mithila Pereira returns to the fray. Now that
Number 4 and 17.
Charana Chamikara has come on. In fact, no, he's replaced. So Pandu Kangamana and
Number 1.
Kokila
Number 1.
Hiran come onto the park for CRNFC. And there's a change in the front row for Navy as well. And that would be Viraj Kolamba-Arachi, who comes on as prop.
Crouch. Bind.
Just over 10 minutes, Shanaka. It's been all Sia so far in the second half.
Navy started the half off really well, but they have fallen off a little. Scrum wheels almost all the way around. Taken in the air, surely. The referee hasn't got his arm up for the advantage, but might have deemed that it was incidental contact. Here's Kokila close to the line. CRNFC waiting for the last quarter to really unleash into this Navy defense, which has held firm for so long.
Use the ball. Use the ball. No.
Ball controlled at the back by CRNFC. They'll have to use it now.
Richie.
And again, looks like Richie Dharmapala, who was at the bottom of that ruck, tried to rip the shirt off Rahul De Silva, I think, and sees a yellow card for his trouble. Actually, they're bringing it back for the high tackle on, or the tackle in the air on Kamindu Pereira. So a premeditated move between Ratwatta and Pereira to put that little chip kick in, and Kamindu using his height. Might see Jacob Stockdale doing that against Damien McKenzie later on this evening.
Yeah, Aviva Stadium in Dublin, going to be a pack house. 12:30 midnight or 12:30 a.m.
Well, was lucky enough to be at the game. His exact same game 2 years ago, Sabir, at the Aviva Stadium.
I know how disappointed you were after 18 consecutive wins, Shanaka. Same happened to England.
Yeah, absolutely.
Irish knows how to treat well. Here's the scrum.
And that's a nice ball. Here's Kevin Dixon trying to step away.
Tackle release.
And Randita Varnapura does well to stay in the field.
Play on.
Joel Pereira now, there's no forwards with him. Doesn't matter to him though, because he's still going, Joel Pereira. Here's Omalkas, close to the line.
Not rolling away.
Not rolling away, says the referee. So another penalty. Record number of penalties in this game. I say record, but that's a beautiful ball from Ratwatta to Rehan Silva. And it's equally well stolen by Navy. Beautiful work from Umesh Madhushankar. And again a penalty given away by CRNFC. You can see Rahul De Silva saying no arms in the tackle, and he goes to the bench as well. He'll be a frustrated man. And Rehan Silva looks like he's in a little bit of trouble here. You can see him gesticulating towards Umesh Madhushankar.
Shanaka, interestingly, both the halfbacks in the sin bin. Also watch the try of the week. Watch, vote and comment on your #1 sports sub. I think now Mohammad Afzal might play that halfback role, putting Chatura Seneratna in the outside half.
How many has it been, Sabir, already? 5 in this game? Yellow cards?
11.
I think it's 2 for Navy and 3 for CR. So 5 yellow cards, which is not a good reflection on the teams. CR will be relieved to see Rehan Silva jogging back to his position, and Navy will be relieved that the penalty is their way, and that the influential Rahul De Silva is in the bin for this next 11 minutes or so. So Kevin Dixon will probably go to scrum half for CR, while Mohammad Afzal goes to scrum half for Navy. You can see a late replacement coming on.
It's not every time you say of the game, Shanaka, both the halfbacks going into that sin bin, unless there's a big fight or something.
Supun Piri is coming on for Navy.
22.
Place of Gavin Sigerts, who's gone off.
Number?
And Sia also had Supun Varna Kulusuri in the lineup, Shanaka. Is he out injured?
Well, they've got a little bit of a problem with hookers. They have to be compelled to play Dulanjana Vijayasinghe for the 80 minutes because Supun is out injured. And Hiranta Manamendra is just on his way back from pretty bad ankle break. But Harit Bandara has come on for Sia, would have taken another player off. We'll tell you who that was. Here's Absal now finding Chatura Seneviratne. Kevin Dixon comes off worse for wear. Musin Falil. Seneviratne. That's a nice ball with numbers on the outside. Umesh Madhushankar steps in. Brought down in the tackle by Harit Bandara's first contribution to the game, and again a penalty. Musin Falil cannot believe it, and he's not the first player to go up to referee Jamal Dean and say, "What's going on, sir?"
Number 1 red. Number 1 red.
We don't want to see another yellow card coming in, Chanaka. It was a lovely break by Umesh Jayamana, former Isipatana player.
Recommendation?
And since then he made so much of a distance. He was isolated.
Number 1 is Kokila Hiran, who's just come on,
there has
so
been slight,
he's given away a
late time.
penalty. This is really silly work.
Give a yellow card, just a penalty there.
Penalty may be reversed, but let's see what the referee says. Yes, he's going all the way back to where the incident occurred. Fortunately, we can't show you a replay of what went on there. But Chatura Seneviratne will be very happy to clear his lines. 9 minutes left in the game. 10 minutes separate the two teams on the scoreboard. More than enough time for this home team to come back. Been tense stuff in this Dialog Rugby League so far. You're watching live pictures on ThePapare.com and on Dialog now as well. This league has really become competitive in the last couple of weeks. A 1-point game yesterday, 2 1-point games the week before. Mirroring what's going on in international rugby as well.
Go back, okay? You have to be the same number, okay? Now, what's your number? 5. Okay, 5, man. 5, hold it. 5.
So Navy have also brought Salia Handapangoda on as halfback.
You got it, 5. 5
Lots of talking going on, Shanaka. Dulanjan Vijay Singh giving instructions against former club. Great work.
Nicely won there. Looking forward to seeing Panduka Angammana. But again, an important penalty there.
Not 10 playing advantage. Number 2.
Taken quickly by Radhisha Seneviratne. Looked like he may have taken it from well in front of the mark though. Here's Supun Piris driving towards the line. A try here will really make this game exciting in the last few minutes. First time that Navy have come close to the red zone. Here goes Charit Silva, barging his way towards the line. Rehan Silva does well to drag him back a few meters though.
Use it!
Ball is available and Navy will use it little by little. Ever so close, and it's a try. Well scored by Nirosh Pereira that time. Came onto the park and has scored under the post, and this will surely be scored by, be knocked over by Chatura Seneviratne, which will bring us back to a 3-point game.
How well worked try is that, Shanaka. Great awareness by Radhisha Seneviratne to take that quick penalty. And the numbers, just the supportive runners came like a flash for Navy. And Chatura Silva scoring that try, former Science College player. And his celebration, joy of a celebration, but he still have a few more 6 minutes remaining. And the conversion is missed.
Well, it looks like they've chosen not to take the conversion. In fact, they did take the conversion, so it's 22-25. Took it very quickly. Salia Handapangoda drops the ball forward. Hafiz Noor now. Looks for Rehan Silva. Silva runs crossfield. Can't get the ball away. Referee's got his arm up for advantage once again, and Charit Silva was way offside that time. And surely this is going to be another card, is it? Yes, it's the 6th card of the game. This doesn't reflect well on any of the parties involved, in fact. That there's been 6 yellow cards in this game. It hasn't been a bad-tempered game either, Sabir. So it's not like you've got people being sent off for punching and fighting. It's just been infringements.
Just infringement and so many technical calls, Shanaka. I'm sure all the modern day players are aware of these laws. And at this 9 missed points to Navy team, missed by their skipper, who was replaced early in the second half. Till Veerasinghe, the highest point scorer, of course, last season. She had 22 plus 9. Navy in a commanding lead by now. Still 3 points ball game. Anything could happen in the next 5 to 6 minutes.
So it was Gian Pereira who suffered that yellow card. Gian, the former Josephian number 8, plying his trade here now at Navy, and there's no way that Madhushanka is fit to play on. He's taken a serious head knock. And Mahesh Madhushanka will be escorted back to the pavilion for some immediate attention, hopefully. Never nice to see a player feeling groggy like that. Supun Piris just asks referee Jamaldeen how much time there is on the clock, and he's been told it's probably about 5 minutes with injury time now. And it's sad to see Madhushanka leaving the field like this. He's played his heart out for 75 minutes and he hasn't been too bad in the line out in the second half. First half was not the best, but here's Ratpata with an opportunity to go beyond that 3-point gap. That should settle Sia's nerves. But despite their foreign player, this has been a very closely contested game.
It is indeed, Shanaka, and also this is a sensible call, especially a man who has scored 20 points out of that 25. And also Navy have so many injured players in their list, Shanaka.
Actually, Sia have chosen to take their foreign player off. So Angammana has come on for him. Easy does it for Ratwata, and it's 28 points to 22. So a 6-point lead, still not enough to guarantee a victory, because a 7-pointer, as Navy scored just so easily in the last few minutes, will put them back in the game. So Navy with 2 players in the bin. It's 14-13. Rarely in this game has it been 15 on 15 in this second half. Dulanjana Vijayasinghe palms it off to Omalka Gunaratna. Does well. Harit Bandara.
Backwards.
Not a great collection from Charit Senivaratna. They've chosen to take Tarinder Ratpata off, which is...
okay, you're good.
They've moved him to center, in fact. And here's Kavindu Pereira. Puts the hammer down, Pereira. Good tackle on him in the end by Sali Ahandapangoda. Here's Kokila Hiran, whose penalty conceded that try to Navy. Harit Bandara, dummies. Goes straight through the middle. Busting through his Angammana. Brought down in a good tackle again. Navy defending desperately with 13 players. Kokila Hiran thinks about passing, but nobody wants to run a support line for Sia. Charit Senivaratna over the head of the defense to Shehan Dias now. Shehan Dias busts off one tackle, and Harit Bandara knocks the ball forward at the end of a good promising passage of play from CRNFC. So this is what has let them down, Sabir. Getting so close, but just no finish.
I like how Harit Bandara made that quick impact, quick release from the base, and marshalling his forwards and the backs. And some good hands from CRNFC early on. The replacement came in. Chanaka Chandimal made a knockback, said referee Jamaldin, which was his first touch of this game. And Tharin Ratat moving into the outside centre position. And Kavinda Pereira made a lovely break in that corner.
Rahul De Silva comes on for what might be the last play of the game. And we have to talk about a man of the match, Sabir, and it's very difficult to look beyond Tarinder Ratpatta, isn't it? He scored 23 of the points so far. Had good performances from some of the CR forwards as well. Shehan Dias has been good today. Havidu Pereira has been excellent in defense. Joel Pereira has played well. And from the Navy team, I think the two props, Charit Silva and Kasun De Silva, were outstanding. And Gihan Pereira too, until he went off with that yellow card. But I would have to go for the man who's pretty much won the game for them.
Without a doubt, Shanaka. I know Joel Pereira did really well. But Thari, after letting down with that early try, he stood up really to his standard. That's some class from him. So back-to-back man of the match. Could that be turned over by Navy? They have the disadvantage in terms of the numerical figures on the screen. You can see 2 yellow cards. Now it became 1. Here's Mohammad Afzal.
Well, they've still got an opportunity. Buddhima Piyaratna is a dangerous runner. If they can find the ball. Oh, and they've knocked it forward and may have just thrown away the game with that knock-on. Musin Falil has been really solid today. Has done everything that was asked of him, but not able to drag his team over the line. And Kavindu Pereira's team celebrate a second win in as many weeks. And you have to say, it's not as a result of their foreign firepower. It's as a result of their team playing well. And Ratpatta playing more like the foreign import than anyone else.
Without a doubt, Shanaka. First half, Sia, of course, in the back foot, isn't it, Shanaka? Navy dominated the game. They had the position, they had the momentum, they had the territorial advantage. And then CRNFC playing so composed and not panicking in terms of their defense. Although it's a card-faced game, so many technical faults in those breakdowns. But 28 points to 22 was the final score in favor of the Reds. So that's 2 out of 2. But still did not have that most important bonus point, as Sia unable to score 4 tries. But they will take the win. Certainly coach Nilfa Ibrahim. And they will go to the drawing boards. And they will probably come back with the mistakes being corrected for the next game. Also some worries to Motilal Jayatilaka's team, especially with those injuries. And also taking out that Tilna Veerasinghe, the most experienced man. If that 9 points being scored, Shanaka, it's a different story today.
Oh, completely different story. It was 11 points actually with the missed conversion as well. He knocked over a good kick of a conversion for the first try, but wasn't able to convert those crucial penalties in the first half. That would have really derailed Sia's comeback in the second half as well. So 3 tries to 1, and you can see that's where CRNFC are going to be really concerned, and Navy will be happy that they've managed to score those 3 tries. 2 conversions and 7 penalty goals. So you can imagine how many penalties were given in this game. We'll tell you that on the breakdown when we analyze this game later on during the week. But 28 points to 22. The only thing Navy have to worry about is their discipline, Sabir. They've conceded 21 points of penalties, and also it's their discipline which led to the tries being scored against, to the try being scored against them as well. But it has been a competent performance by CRNFC, but it's not going to please their coaches too much. But Motilal Jayatilaka knows that he's got a lot of potential to do some good work with for the rest of this season. Kandy playing Police tomorrow, and that's going to be a big game. Police, of course, will take their foreign player up to Nittawala. Let's see how he adapts to that hostile crowd. And these are the results, these are the games for next week. Havelocks will take on Navy, Police taking on Sia at Police Park. We have Army taking on Kandy at the racecourse. That should be an interesting game for Kandy coming down under lights. And then CHNFC will play Air Force. That's going to be an interesting one as well with the Air Force foreign player. Let's see whether he can do some damage against CH, but CH will be desperate to come up with a win after they've lost both their games by 1 point so far in the first 2 weeks. So that brings us to an end of the coverage live from Welisara. You've been watching Sri Lanka's leading sports network, ThePapare.com, and this is the Dialog Rugby League. CRNFC going home to Longton Place victorious in this game, and Navy will lick their wounds but come back strong next week against Heavy's team, which also has 2 wins. Thanks a lot for joining Sabir Kada and myself and the rest of the production team at ThePapare.com. It's goodbye from Welisara.
Crescent Mini Keeves. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeves only from Crescent.
Crunchy munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites only from Crescent.
New breed of fast, Pulsar NS160 with wider tyres and twin disc brakes from David Pieris Motor Company Private Limited.